Hey everybody, it's Zach. Welcome back to the Heroverse. And guys, I've been waiting to do this video uh quite some time now. This video was released 7 days ago by IGN, and it's Christopher Nolan talking about why he's scared for filmmakers, and also the title of it is called "It's Scary for Filmmakers." Christopher Nolan goes to bat for physical media. And when I saw this video, I can't lie, I watched a little, like the tiniest bit of this video, and I thought to myself, no, I actually want to make a video on this, especially after my rough time, like trying to find Oppenheimer on 4K. It was a super hard time to find this movie on 4K. I was able to find it. Definitely go watch my unboxing for the 4K, version of Oppenheimer. I did an unboxing video for it, so definitely go check out that video. But I'm a huge physical media dude, and pretty much, I'm gonna go give my watch this, react to this video of Christopher Nolan defending physical media, and also why it's important for for people to go to the theaters and stuff like that, and how it's scary about for it's scary for filmmakers. I can't wait to fully react to this and kind of give my take on it, and kind of give my opinion on what physical media means to me. Like I'm super excited to talk about it. I'm a big physical media dude. Like I said, I literally don't do any digital form of content, whether it be whether it be gaming, whether it be movies or shows or anything. I like to literally go buy the disc of whatever movie, show, game it is. I'm not a big physical media. I'm not a big digital person. I really try to stay away from the digital crowd, in terms of when it comes to like buying a movie I want, or whether it comes to a game I want. I like to just actually go get the physical copy to have on my shelf. So I definitely can't wait to give my opinion on that, but I'm super excited to hear what Christopher Nolan has to say. And we're gonna get into this in 3, 2, 1. Let's get into it right about now.
It's scary for filmmakers who don't have that release right now, and it's going to be an increasingly big issue for filmmakers, and it's something we're going to have to address with the streamers at some point.
Christopher Nolan is responsible for one of the greatest burns of the modern film industry. In the middle of the pandemic, when Warner Brothers decided to put their entire 2021 release slate on HBO Max, he cut loose an incredible quote, saying, "Some of our industry's biggest filmmakers and most important movie stars went to bed the night before thinking they were working for the greatest movie studio and woke up to find out they were working for the worst streaming service." This, at minimum, aside from the COVID-induced panic in the upper echelon of Warner executives, proves that Christopher Nolan has always firmly believed that streaming is not the thing. So, it's no surprise that with the Blu-ray release of Oppenheimer, he's once again going to bat for physical media.
If you buy a 4K UHD, you buy a Blu-ray, it's on your shelf, it's yours. No company, is going to break into your house and take it from you and repossess it. It's yours and you own it. That's never really the case with any form of digital distribution. You're relying on the continued health of the supplier, the company who's supplying it, what have you.
But as one of cinema's most vocal defenders, there's something more troubling than consumers' experience with their post-theatrical media: the slow death of physical media. As Best Buy recently announced they would begin phasing out their physical media sales, including DVD and Blu-ray, we got to ask Nolan and...
When I heard about that too, I was super upset. Because if anybody knows, for us physical media buyers, that's where you get the special edition steel books, whether it be of shows, movies, and so forth. Hell, that's where I got my Across the Spider-Verse special edition steelbook. That's where I got it. I got it from Best Buy, and also that's where I got my Loki season 1 steelbook, and so many other steelbooks that I have of physical media, whether it be my Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania steelbook that I have. It's just very upsetting to hear that the main source of steelbooks for us physical media, consumers, it's going away. And not many other stores do steelbooks. I mean, Walmart is starting to bring them out slowly. Target really doesn't get them. It's mainly just like Walmart. Occasionally we'll get a steelbook here and there, but like Best Buy is known to probably be the best place to get movies. Especially in terms of collector's editions or special editions of movies or shows, or so forth. Best Buy is known for that. So it's really, really annoying to know that Best Buy is trying to cut out the physical, the physical crowd, and again are catering to digital people. And I've always had a problem with that. I had a problem when Insomniac Games, whether it be from Insomniac side or PlayStation side, when the collector's edition came out, they added the steel book with the collector's edition, but they didn't add the disc. They added a code in the steel book. I had a problem with that because again, they're catering to the digital crowd. If you pay all that money, you should be getting a disc in the steel book, not just a steel book. So it just really is starting to annoy me lately, especially even in just, even in terms of not even just Insomniac, but when you just pre-order a a steel book of any sorts, a lot of the time it does not come with the disc. It only comes with, the digital code in the steel book. It's just really, really, really annoying, and I don't know why that is, but let's continue.
And Oppenheimer producer Emma Thomas about the past and present of home media and what it means to the economics of the film industry.
When I came to you with those calculations, we thought we might start a chain reaction that would destroy the entire world. I believe we did.
With the advent of beta tapes and VHS in the 70s and their eventual takeoff in the 80s when they became affordable and ubiquitous, the home video market has been an integral part of a film's financing. Suddenly, studios didn't have to worry about recouping a film's entire budget in theaters. In the years since, with DVD and Blu-ray offering limitless re-releases, the home video market has given life to movies we otherwise might not have seen, or a second chance to films and filmmakers who didn't quite blow up the box office the first time around. But with the rise of streaming and studios' insistent push in that direction comes the apparent slow death of physical media, which, as our headline points out, is probably a bad thing for the business, and also a move that doesn't seem to have a longer view in mind.
Yeah, and it's an essential revenue stream. I mean, Best Buy is certainly carrying this movie, and they're going to carry on selling to players, so I'm not sure quite what motivated that decision. It doesn't really make sense, but a lot of economic decisions around home video have always been based on the need to show short-term growth rather than the long-term health of the business, and that's kind of got our industry into the pickle that it's been in the summer.
First off, I have to tell you, I think that the slow death of physical media is a terrible thing for consumers. I think it's a terrible thing for filmmakers.
It's sad.
Who want their films to have a life beyond whatever their initial
beyond
release
the streaming
is.
service
And I think that all
stuff.
of us should be doing everything that we can to keep it going.
The truth is, it's impacted the kinds of movies being made, while the realities of how expensive movies are have not changed as much. There's the budget of the actual production, the cost of marketing, and the split with theaters. All that needs to be recouped before a producer can start to see profit. Matt Damon might explain it better, even while his mouth is on fire. Here he is on Hot Ones, digging into the intricacies of home video market economics.
I did this movie Behind the Candelabra, and I talked to a studio executive who explained it was a $25 million movie. I would have to put that much into print and advertising, right, to market it. I have to split everything I get with the exhibitor, right, the people who own the movie theaters. So I would have to make $100 million before I got into profit. And the idea of making $100 million on a story about like this love affair between these two people, yeah, I love everyone in the movie, but that's suddenly a massive gamble in a way that it wasn't in the 1990s when they were making all those kind of movies, the kind of movies that I loved and the kind of movies that were my bread and butter.
For Christopher Nolan, a director who got his start on indie fare like Following and Memento, movies from an unproven director with no guarantee of a financial return, he's not convinced movies like that are impossible these days, just different.
Getting Memento made was not easy. We could not get it distributed. And so I couldn't sit here and say, well, it's harder now to get something distributed. I mean, there wasn't a distributor as effective as A24 in the world. It's putting out all kinds of incredible and challenging movies.
Yeah, A24 is really been people's savior for up and coming,
the guys
film directors.
When we were doing Memento. So it's not a simple progression. As far as the funding though, yes, money from physical media fed into funding Memento, for example, but at the same time, there's a lot of money that comes in from streaming and everything. And so I think these things sort of move around rather than, fundamentally change.
And so, technology and the film industry continue to shift, doing the same thing, just down a different avenue. Another strange industry phenomenon that fits that bill is a movie just straight up disappearing. In the old days, film prints would be thought lost or destroyed for decades before being rediscovered in a janitor's closet of a mental hospital in Oslo. Now, all it takes is a thirst for tax breaks. From Batgirl to John Cena's Coyote vs. Acme project, Warner Brothers has made a recent habit of canceling movies that are already finished, a move that certainly hasn't paid off for the studio where its reputation is concerned. When asked about the idea of a streaming service
let's definitely talk about that for a minute. Yeah, WB with the whole, oh, it's somehow missing Batgirl. Oh, the files got deleted. It's like they didn't want to put it out because I guess, you know, people saw it. It was already done. It wasn't good, but they still didn't put it out to make revenue, which they would have made a lot more money than they did just scrapping it after they put all that money into it. Makes no sense to me why they did that. Even putting it on the streaming service, you're still making way more money back than you just not doing it in general, or even just putting it in theaters. Mind you, I don't understand the whole, you make a new movie, you put it on streaming service right away instead of putting it in theaters. People will go to the theaters, but again, I definitely feel like it was one thing when it was the pandemic and you couldn't go to the theaters. It's another thing when you're still doing it, or you're not leaving a movie in theaters as long, because you're going to be putting it then on the streaming service. Because even like after the pandemic, there would be like, oh, 2 months go by or a month goes by, it's on the streaming service. People at this point are like, oh, I'll wait until it hits streaming, or I'll wait until it's HBO Max, or oh, I'll wait until this hits Disney Plus. That's the problem, is that people like to wait instead of putting their money in helping out one theaters, because you're hitting multiple levels of you know, of the kind of the company side of things. You're hitting or I guess the consumer side of things is that you're buying your ticket, which helps the theater out but also helps the movie out. You buy the concessions, helps the theater out, keeps the theater up and going. But when you take out when you take that out, there is no longer, oh, people are saying, oh, just wait for the movie to go on streaming because it'll be on streaming within a month. You're cutting out the movie making a lot of money globally in the box office. You're cutting out, you know, theaters staying open because they're not making the money. And also theaters, these companies aren't going to want to pay theaters anymore if people aren't wanting to go to their theaters to go see the movie. So they're going to start cutting out theaters or cutting out deals with theaters, and then theaters are going to close. It's just a big problem with the whole streaming thing with the new movies that release like a month later. It's a big problem. I do think if you're going to put movies out, give it a couple of months before you choose to do that. And nowadays I feel like they don't even do that. It's like, oh, within a month it's on Disney Plus, or oh, it's on HBO Max. I'm gonna be honest, it's like I really don't like it. You know, for some movies, it's like that I say, oh, I'm not gonna wait, I'm not gonna see it in theaters. I just don't end up seeing it at all, even when it goes to HBO Max or something. I'm just like, if I plan on not seeing a movie in the theaters, I'm not going to be seeing the movie on HBO Max and all that stuff if I really don't want to. Now, it's something I'm very interested in. I'll go to the theater because I'm always a big supporter of even going to the movie theaters. I mean, to support my local theater, because I don't want there to be a day where theaters could close. And mind you, we were really close to that, like Christopher Nolan said, with, you know, all these studios just putting their movies on streaming, and then the theaters kind of got screwed over. Then again, I understood that it was in the time where, you know, we were starting to recover with things. So it's kind of an iffy thing on that, because it's like, if anything, I think that they should have waited to release those movies until everything kind of got sorted. I understand that they couldn't do that because of, you know, like they have to have certain times when movies come out and to make their quota back and stuff like that. So it's a whole big problem, but I don't really support the fact of kind of movies just instantly going to streaming like a month later. Like it sucks. It's not really cool, and it doesn't really help out theaters. So it's really is a big problem in Hollywood. It's really messed up. Along with, you know, studios not paying people the right earnings back of a show that's on their streaming service and stuff like that. They're not making any earnings. It's a cluster.
Hearing a film, Emma Thomas can think of a word to describe it.
I can imagine plenty of bad things, but I think it would be absolutely appalling to spend 2 years of your life on a movie and then have it just disappear completely, or not be allowed a release. I think that would just be a terrible thing. So I sympathize deeply with the filmmakers that's happened to.
But it also brings up another issue with physical media versus streaming: control for both the artist and the consumer.
We're now beginning to see, and I'm beginning to have conversations with filmmakers who have made successful films that have gone, for streaming sites, that have been taken off those sites and don't exist in any form. There's no control. And so even from a consumer point of view, and it's scary for filmmakers who don't have that release right now, and it's going to be an increasingly big issue for filmmakers, and it's something we're going to have to address with the streamers at some point.
The other concern, unless you're counting on those janitors in Norway to save your film, is an archival one. Take The Dark Knight, for example, whose Blu-ray story touches on just about everything we've talked about here. In fact, the Blu-ray release was an argument in favor of employing IMAX for the film in the first place.
The Dark Knight was the first major Blu-ray sort of hit title. And when we decided to shoot IMAX on The Dark Knight, we went to Warner Brothers and said, there will be benefit on home video. There'll be benefit. Blu-ray was a new format then that they were looking to push. You'll see the difference in quality from these high-resolution IMAX cameras, and that's carried through in all our home video releases because we've carried on using those large film formats. And so Oppenheimer is no exception, and we put a lot of care and attention to maximizing the image quality so that the benefit of shooting IMAX film is retained. I mean, the wonderful thing.
And that's a benefit of also, like I said, you not waiting for streaming because you don't get all the hard work that they put into the movies to do IMAX. It's like it's cool to see on TV, but it's not the same as seeing it on the big screen and supporting the theaters. Mind you, these actors work for their movies to be put in theaters. These directors work for these movies to be put in theaters, and it's just a slap in the face to just be like, oh, I'm gonna wait until streaming. And it's like, it's screwing up the natural order of things and how things should be, of keeping our theaters open, really seeing hard work being paid off. Because again, you could say what you want to say, but watching it on your TV is not the same as watching it in the theater. That's why theaters are important. That's why physical media is important, because again, they go the extra mile that even you don't get the same output as you do from a physical CD disc, a laser disc, compared to like a normal streaming, whatever. You don't get the same quality. It's almost the same quality as you get from the theater when you get an actual physical disc, than you getting it on a streaming service, and it's all dulled down like to the service and everything like that. And it's just not, the color's not right. It's not as vibrant. It's not as good quality as you watching an actual disc it's printed on the disc and it's laser projected on there. It's not as good. You know what I mean? There's something crisp about actually watching a movie, from a physical disc than you watching it digitally. And I bet you if you pull up side by side, you can totally see a difference. I mean, how you could probably look up a video of that and see how important just like physical media is like that. If you really want to have the closest thing of how you watched in the theater and have that same feeling, physical media is the way to go. If you really want to capture that same feeling you captured when you saw the movie in theaters. I have the Batman. I have that movie. Matt Reeves' The Batman, and I get the same feeling I do watching the Batman with my 4K disc than as I did when I watched it in the theater. Same quality, same look, same great sound, everything. You don't get that with digital. You really don't. And I feel like people don't understand that, but hopefully this video makes you guys understand that physical media is important and it needs to stick around. It really does.
The thing about acquiring your images on the highest quality analog film negatives is they transfer beautifully to any digital medium.
Maybe it's time we all stop trying to outsmart the truth and let it have its day.
On the other hand, for the consumer, the archival aspect of physical media is more than just shelf space, according to Emma Thomas.
It's been very interesting, actually, with Oppenheimer coming out and sort of meeting a lot of people who are talking to us about the film. And a lot of them are talking about which of Chris's films are sort of their favorite. And Interstellar keeps coming up. Now, a lot of these people are way younger than they would have been able to see that film when it came out in cinemas. And it's very clear that they're seeing it on physical media, or have seen it on physical media over time. And, I think that sort of disallowing people that chance to find filmmakers, to find movies, to experience stories is a great shame.
It is a conversation that will, of course, keep going as the distribution avenues available to studios continue to evolve and the filmmakers creating the art that's worth distributing find ways to exist within that system. For Christopher Nolan, though, he's concerned with the long-term viability of the films he's creating right now.
We've been having this discussion with home video and retailers for many years in terms of it's always sort of undervalued relative to where it is in the ecosystem. And I think a lot of that is because Wall Street is always asking companies about their future, about where are you showing growth, where are you moving to? And of course, as filmmakers, what we're interested in is right now, how are people watching things? What's the best way for someone to watch it?
Exactly. Not worried about the future like that.
So what do you think? You big physical media people down there? Let us know in the comments. And for all your other movie news, be sure to subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.
And like I said, guys, great video by IGN. I'm glad that they made this. I'm glad that as good as a director, or as great as a director as Christopher Nolan is defending physical media. He understands what we're going through. He understands that you don't get the same quality if you watch a digital version compared to a Laserdisc CD. You don't get the same quality. You don't get the same sound. You don't get the same vibe. It's just something special. And also, like, again, what he said about a streaming service could just take it off. Do you know how many times that, there's never, and there's good things on Netflix, but then they end up being taken off anyways. And you think to yourself, wow, I should just buy it. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what a lot of people are like, oh, like I'll just go buy it. But there's a lot of people that are like, oh, it's not on here. Well, let me go to my other streaming service. It's on there. It's like, no, like that should not be your solution. Is like, oh, it's not here. Let me just go over to my other streaming service account and let me just watch it over there. It should be like, no, like the point of that is, and even they're making the point, you know what I mean? Even the company or studio or whoever has the streaming service is even making the valid point of that's why it's so important for you to get physical media, is because they're dumb and they're not keeping it on, meaning that they're making you guys have the reason to get physical media, when in reality it feels like what they're trying to do is that they're trying to get people away from going out and getting DVDs and staying on their platform, paying month-to-month payments to keep a streaming service. That's why it's so important, because guess what? That's another way to not have to pay for a streaming service, is if you just buy the movies that you love or the shows that you love, is just buying them. They're with you forever. You don't need to have to repay, you don't have to pay different streaming service if they move the show or movie that you like. You just have it. And you're proud that you have it, and it's such a beautiful thing when you have a collection. I have a huge collection of movies behind me, as you guys can see, and all my figures are in front of a lot of my movies, but I have them. Like, look at that, and that's not even all of them. Like, you guys can't even see it, but all the way down below, I have more movies there. Like, it's never gonna stop for me. I'm always gonna choose physical media over digital. It's always going to happen in terms of video games, in terms of movies, in terms of shows, in terms of all sorts of content like that. Physical media is going to stay. It's going to stay with me. And even it's not even just staying. This isn't even just a problem with physical media. It's also a problem with books. People buy their books digitally now, and they don't go to the store to buy books anymore. That's a problem. It's totally getting taken out, where the books get manufactured, all that stuff. It's totally being cut out, and they're just going digitally. You know what I mean? And again, there's always problems where, if, let's say for instance, you lose your account, you lose all the books that you bought on there, you lose them. Let's say for instance, you break whatever kind of tablet you have or whatever you have, it breaks and you lose all your stuff. There's always a problem that you can run into with that. So that's why I always think it's important for physical media of all sorts. I think it's always important because it's something you can always depend on, and it's something that's always there, and there can never and no one is and no one's kind of messing with you on on how you consume it. You just have it, and you get to choose on when you want to watch it and what day you want to watch it, without having a limit of, oh, like this is leaving the streaming service this day or this month or whatever. You don't have to deal with it. You just get to have it. And that's what I really want people to just understand, is that there's something beautiful about having and collecting movies and shows and games and all that. It's just something really, really good about doing it. And it's nostalgic. You know what I mean? It's nostalgic. It's you have it, it's yours, and again, it's not through some company. That's why I feel like Christopher Nolan said the greatest words of that. It's yours. You don't have to have a company messing with you of on how long you get to have it for. It's yours. It's on your shelf. You know what I mean? Someone's not breaking in to take it from you. You know what I mean? And when you want to watch it at a certain point and you can't watch it, it's yours. So like I said, guys, that's literally what it means to me. Is that I've been collecting since I don't even know when, and I'm gonna keep collecting as long as discs keep existing. Which I really hope that they do. I don't want to have a day where I can't buy the movies that I love and the shows that I love, or even the games that I love, because these companies and studios just want to be lazy, and they just want to cut out all the people that make the source of income by making those CDs and all that stuff and all that, because they just want to save money or some shit. When it's like, no, it's like, we need this. It just because something is a cheaper way to do things and you can save money doesn't mean that you should do it, especially if it's screwing people out of money, or if they're depending on that, when they sign up for their contracts to act, when they make a project, and they're counting on revenue by people buying CDs, and then you cut them out, and then it's like, okay, they're not making as much as they signed up for initially because you're trying to screw them over. That's always a problem in Hollywood. That's why we had the strikes happening, with the writer strikes, and also the actor strikes. Even the game community was striking for a while. You know what I mean? It's like that. That's why it's so important to support the theater, support physical media, so that way we're literally telling these studios and company heads, no, you see where my money's going, and that is you speaking for it. You know what I mean? And keeping things around, and you telling these companies and studios, no, I refuse for you guys to screw over other people. I'm gonna do this because also it benefits me, and it benefits me from you guys screwing me over, trying to take these stuff that I love off these street. For instance, Netflix had Community, or no, Netflix had The Office. They took off The Office. I bought the full Office box set. That's what I did. The moment they take Community off, I am buying the box set. That's what I'm doing. There is moments where you're like, okay, this is okay. It's on here. It's fine. But just wait. When that's gone, I'm going to be buying it. And that's what's going to be happening. Is that, you know what I mean? You want to think smart, and you don't want people screwing you over. You know what I mean? So I really hope, you guys kind of understand, and what I'm trying to say here is that, it's always good to support physical media, and it's really sad when you think about it, like, being gone. It really is sad, especially for all my physical media buyers out there. You guys know what I mean. Is there something special about you owning a disc, and you also, saying that it's yours, and also the quality is better than watching it on a streaming service. It is better quality you having it, like, because it just gets transferred over to the disc a lot better than it does from a file. So all in all, let me know what you guys think. Are you a physical media buyer? Did you understand my argument here and what Christopher Nolan was trying to say? Are you not? Are you not a physical media buyer? Are you a digital buyer? And even if you are a digital buyer, do you understand what I'm trying to say here? And do you kind of get the kind of the scariness of, of what this could mean if discs are gone, and what this could mean for the filming industry, of how movies last for years to come? Because again, like, when it's gone off a streaming service, what if, you know what I mean? It's harder to find things on streaming services compared to you going into a store and looking around and you finding it. That is the equivalent of a Blockbuster or a Family Video, which is really sad that those are gone because I grew up with those as well. So it's like, we got the second best thing is that, you have to buy it, but you could still browse the shelf. But the better part is that you get to keep it forever, not just rent it. You get to keep it forever and browse the shelf of what you want. Or go see a movie and you're like, oh, I'm going to go to the store and go buy that DVD. Could you imagine if that's gone and you have to rely on streaming services to keep a show or a movie that you want on that service, but then it ends up being taken off and you have to buy another streaming service to get it, and you can never buy that disc because they are done making CDs? So you just have to keep relying on these studios that clearly, from what IGN was saying, is that you can't even rely on these studios, WB, that just get rid of movies that are set to come out that have already been done with, and they just so happen to disappear because they don't want to pay that money. And again, you see what I'm saying, is that we got to say no to these greedy people that, no, I'm going to speak with my money, and this benefits me than just jumping from streaming service to streaming service, depending on you guys to keep the form of content that I like on there. and then somehow disappearing, or I can never find it, or you know what I mean? It's like I get to control me having it. So let me know what you guys think about this argument down in the comments below. Are you a physical media buyer? Are you not a physical media buyer? Did this video make you want to start buying physical media? Definitely let me know. Yet again, here, if you are new here, subscribe to the channel, put notifications, and like this video. It would be much appreciated. The goal is, like I said, to get to 800 subscribers. I think we're almost there. We're close to almost 1,000 subscribers. That is the goal, to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. So if you are new here and you love physical media just as much as I do, definitely, even though, like I said, leave a like on this video. Go check out my unboxing for Oppenheimer. I just posted it. And also go check out my other unboxings that I've done here for other movies and stuff. Definitely go check that out. And also, I actually did my movie collection video where I showed you guys my entire movie collection and show collection and all that stuff, like my physical media collection. So definitely go find those videos. I think they're in the playlist. I have to do an updated one at some point because I have so many movies now, like so much more movies than I did before. The last time I did, I updated you guys on my movie collection, or my physical media collection. So maybe sometime down the line, I'll try to do like a update video of showing you guys my physical media collection. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. But guys, as always, that was the video. Hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.